I'd like to welcome everybody this evening to our inaugural Chairman's Circle of Leadership event. Tonight we're honoring Mr. Weldon Sons, and the presentation you're about to watch includes past presidents Harold Hanson, Harvey L, Mike McFadden, and a good friend of Mr. Sons that meant a lot to him, Rick Perucci. I hope you enjoy this presentation and enjoy your evening.
It's my honor today to offer a tribute to my good friend Weldon Sons. Weldon went to work in the oil industry in June of 1956. He worked for many drilling contractors from 1956 to 1975. In 1975, he worked as a consultant for Standard Oil of California at Elk Hills. Weldon became the drilling superintendent of operations at Elk Hills for the Williams brothers and retained that position for Bechtel Petroleum and Occidental Petroleum at Elk Hills. He retired in 2003 after 27 years. Weldon joined the Petroleum Club of Bakersfield in 1997 and soon became Director of Membership. In 1998, he became VP and Membership Director, and in 2002 became President, a position he held until 2010. He then became General Manager, and in 2015 he assumed the Membership Director position. The Petroleum Club was blessed by the nearly 20 years of exemplary service provided by Weldon Sons. The Petroleum Club was his life away from family. He would always take the extra steps to ensure a member would receive the best of club services. Weldon has been married to Sandy for 19 years, and between the two of them, they have 4 daughters, 8 grandchildren, and 6 great-grandchildren. With his extra time, Weldon works with the St. Mark's United Methodist Church and the API. It's been my pleasure to offer these comments this morning.
All right, good evening, Weldon, Sandy, and all of you that are here tonight to celebrate this amazing man and his accomplishments. When Dave first asked me to be a part of this celebration and speak about Weldon, I was very, very thankful. Weldon has had a tremendous effect on my life, and tonight I get my chance to give thanks. Dave, thanks for allowing me to be a part of this wonderful festive evening. I first met Weldon back in 1981. It was early in my career, and at the time Weldon was the superintendent of drilling for Williams Brothers Engineering, managing all of the drilling operations at Elk Hills. I was the new guy. I really didn't know much, and it was pretty obvious. Well, early in my job, unfortunately, I was told I had to go and meet with Mr. Weldon Sons and discuss a not too pleasant topic, a very serious and substantial variance on one of our most recent invoices. I wasn't at all looking forward to being called on the red carpet and having to go there. Well, I was running about 15 minutes late. I was actually at one of Weldon's job sites, so I called my office and said, please call Weldon and tell him I'm running 10 to 15 minutes late. Thank goodness I did that. When I arrived, Weldon was very gracious. He thanked me for calling him and telling him I was going to be late. Well, we started our discussions, and quickly we were interrupted by a gentleman, and Weldon reprimanded him and scolded him and said, if you're ever going to be late to my office, give me the courtesy that Rick Perucci did and call. Wow, was I lucky, and what a good way to start my relationship with Weldon. Well, I had to make a pretty substantial concession to Weldon. When I got back to my office, I downloaded my boss on what had happened. He was pretty upset with me and very pointedly said, listen, you don't work for Weldon, you work for me. I quickly corrected him and said, I do work for Weldon, and you might be well served to remember, so do you. Well, thanks to that incident and thanks to one of the things that Weldon taught me, 2 years later that individual worked for me. So Weldon, thank you very, very much. Weldon wasn't anything like he had been described. I was told he was very hard-nosed, he was very abrupt, and he was very down to common basic sense. Weldon was a gentleman, he was very professional, he was very kind, although he was a very good negotiator. Weldon was a true gentleman, and he meant a great deal to me in my career, and Weldon, I'll never be able to express my sincerest of thanks for what you did for me and how much you helped me throughout my career, and being such a wonderful mentor to me, both professionally and many times personally. Weldon, you're someone that I've admired and been thankful to have known for now 35 years that I've been in this industry. I was able once again, Weldon, to be a part of your life when you took over and started managing the Petroleum Club. I wasn't a member then, nor was my organization, but you convinced me to rejoin the Petroleum Club, and I did, and many of my staff did too. Weldon and the Petroleum Club have become such an important part of this community. It is a wonderful venue and a tremendous environment in which to bring your guest, your spouse, your family, and enjoy truly a remarkable, remarkable atmosphere in the city of Bakersfield. Nowhere else can you go to the top of Bakersfield, have such a panoramic view, and a wonderful experience in the community of Bakersfield and all of Kern County. As I close, Weldon, thank you so much. Congratulations on this truly incredible accomplishment in your life. Sandy, you're going to have to put up with him a lot more now because you're going to be around a lot more. And Weldon, remember, I'm retired too, and I would welcome an opportunity to be a part, sit down, and have a cup of coffee for you at any time. And Weldon, I'll even buy. Thanks and congratulations. And Dave, once again, thank you for letting me be a part of such a wonderful evening for Weldon Sons.
Okay, well, we're all here today assembled to talk a little bit about Weldon Sons and what he's meant to a lot of people in the industry and the Petroleum Club. Weldon took over when I stepped down as president of the Petroleum Club in '98, and Weldon was president up until 2010. And Weldon's like he's like the mayor of the oil patch. Everybody knows him, everybody loves him. He's a tremendous character in himself. If you've never had a chance to visit with Weldon, you need to do that. When Weldon was the VP, under my reign, we struggled here at the Petroleum Club. And we were at the old Cask and Cleaver, and we put a deal together. I found out that Terry Morton had bought the Shell building, so I contacted him and started negotiating with him. We convinced Terry to do something here unique at this building, and so we were able to move over here. We signed a 15-year lease, but we grew our membership here under Weldon and myself and Dave Plivelich, who took off later after Weldon retired. We're a unique thing for Kern County here. Don Clark, who was formerly with one of the local television stations, when he came up here, when we first moved up here, he told me, he says, "You guys are one of the 1,000 points of light in Bakersfield." He thought it was very unique to have a private club because this is the only restaurant that was ever above ground in Bakersfield. So it's very unique in that sense. And if you're not a member here, you need to become a member of the Petroleum Club. It's a world-class venue. We continue to have top quality food and services here, and we have great people who love working here because the environment here is different than most restaurants. It's a family atmosphere because you have the private membership, but we also have outside people come and eat here. And so we welcome everybody. And you don't have to be in the oil business to be a member of the Petroleum Club. We have a lot of doctors. Well, you can see from past presidents, we had our current mayor was a past president here. So that in itself will tell you that we welcome everybody from all facets. I'd like to read something about Weldon. And this kind of sums him up in my mind. The difference between success and failure is often determined by one's dedication. Weldon's undying commitment to the Petroleum Club's success has earned him our most sincere gratitude. Dedication and leadership can be surpassed by no one, yet known by all. Weldon, I congratulate you on finally retiring. You may be gone or leaving, but you're not forgotten, and we still need you to come around and visit and stay in touch with us. We love you. Thank you.
Came back to Bakersfield in 1992. I had been with Wells Fargo Bank and left them had an opportunity back here, was asked to be on the board of the Petroleum Club, early 1992. So I went over there and met with the fellas and attended the first board meeting. So we went out on town and looked around, couldn't find a doggone thing except the old Cash and Cleaver building on Truxton Avenue. It had been closed down as a restaurant. It was not ideal. As a matter of fact, it was probably less than ideal. A lot of the board members went over, took a look, and said, "Hanson, you're out of your mind." I said, "Hey guys, it's that or nothing." So it was that. We were lucky enough to have a fellow by the name of Leonard Gentoo, who was our chef and kind of our executive guy over there, bartender, everything else. Leonard was a great guy. And so we went over there, he had a lot of ideas, changed things around a little bit, and we closed the doors down at the bell tower with a tear in our eye, well, with no choice, and went to the Cash and Cleaver. Our local facility today is so gorgeous and bright and outstanding, but it was kind of dark and dingy, and it was a tired building. But we made it work for a while, and unfortunately our membership did get down, but we survived. A guy by the name of Harvey Hall came along and was on the board. I think he's mayor today, but Harvey was of great assistance being on that board, and he took my place when I moved on from there. I could tell you that the Petroleum Club has just done a lot of good things in town. A lot of good players have been through the doors, and it's a remarkable organization, and I wish them well in the future.
Okay, anything about Mr. Sons at all? Any anecdotes or just memories of him being around, coming around the club?
Who's that?
Weldon Sons?
No, I do not. I have no memories of that at all.
All right, perfect. Man, good stuff. I've been here since 1981. It's an extremely welcoming community. I remember graduating from high school and trying to go back down to LA, and it just didn't feel comfortable to me. You know, I was raised in West Virginia, and there was just something about Bakersfield and the people here that's unlike any other place I've been. And I talked to other business leaders in the community, and they all feel the same way. I've been fortunate enough to be involved with a lot of nonprofits. I've ran some events for nonprofits. I sit on several different boards, and one of the biggest things that I think I recognize in this community is how giving this community is, no matter what kind of cycle that we're in. The people are unlike any other. Part of my research in preparing for this evening was to pull together the history of this club. One of the big things that I've learned from the club and those originally involved, the founding members of this organization and what they were involved with and their impact on the community. And then I start looking at the original members and our membership roster over the years. And I see names keep popping up that without a doubt have made a great impact. This evening's event, the Chairman's Circle of Leadership, is our inaugural event. And tonight we are honoring Mr. Weldon Sons. And it's our intention every year to honor someone else in this community. We're broadening our horizons now with the club, and it's not just oil. And as Mr. McFadden said, this club welcomes everybody in this community, the families, the leaders, the businesses that have been here for many years, the businesses that are just now being established, and our future generations that are coming. All of us are impacted by oil, certainly. Shopping, going to the movies, the different local businesses are supported by the people that have worked in the oil fields and working in the industry. Our hospitals, everybody is affected by the people that make up this community. I feel that the club, as we move forward, is representational of the best of what Bakersfield has to offer. It was, I moved into Bakersfield in 1981, and it wasn't until November of 2015, I was coming back from Los Angeles, and we were coming down the Grapevine. And I looked up onto the horizon, and one of my guys that I work with, I asked him, I said, is that building up there, that's Stockdale Towers, that's the Petroleum Club. And it was the first time I'd ever really looked past our weather and noticed that that is truly the center point of this community. And I've even had this discussion with several board members and other people and pointed out that story, and they didn't realize it. So I hope the next time anybody coming down I-5, they look up, and if the weather's good, they can see that this is the center point of this community. The number of people that come through this facility on an annual basis, yes, we're a private business and social club, but the 35,000 people on average every year that come through here for celebrations of life, nonprofit fundraising that has raised millions of dollars for this community, the high school reunions, the wedding receptions, the beginning of new lives together. This club is so much more to this community. I want you all to be a part of this, and with our Circle of Leadership wall, I want to be able to honor everybody in this community that has made an impact and will continue to make an impact and make this club great, as well as our community. I hope you can be a part of this, and thank you again for coming this evening, and enjoy your night.
The Petroleum Club of Bakersfield has been one of our most outstanding community assets. You know, I had the benefit of serving on the board of directors back in 1997, and the club has come such a long way since then. And you know, it's well known for its quality of service, its quality of banquets. People always look forward to coming to the Petroleum Club because it's an asset that we all are very aware of, and we look forward to the future being a positive one for the Petroleum Club. The board of directors today does an outstanding job leading the assets of the club, and I'm certainly they're going to continue to do their most worthy work and make the club a continuing success.
As you can see, Mr. Sons, you are greatly loved and greatly appreciated. Weldon, you know, increased our membership tremendously, and I believe it was Jim McClard that told me, you know, Weldon's method of getting new members was to simply ask a question: are you a member of this Petroleum Club? And when they would reply back no, he'd hand them an application and say, well, you are now. I hope everybody this evening takes away something about this club that they didn't know before, and I encourage all of you to become a part of our Chairman's Circle of Leadership and be a part of what this club does mean to this community. If you have any questions, feel free to pull me aside or any one of our board members that are in attendance tonight, and we'll be happy to share our vision and where we're going for the next 64 years of the Petroleum Club of Bakersfield. Have a great evening.
Petroleum Club is the premier location for unobtrusive business meetings to memorable get-togethers with family, friends, clients, and colleagues. Featuring world-class dining, impeccable service, astounding views, and plenty of style. Petroleum Club is the perfect place to entertain, reflect, relax, or just plan for tomorrow while enjoying our beautiful view from 12 stories above the city. A Petroleum Club membership is an experience like no other. Become a PCB member today.